We're counting down the 10 times Raymond read Reddington outsmarted his enemies, not with bullets or muscle, but with pure psychological genius. From subtle recruitment and philosophy duels to legendary cons that left the FBI and assassins reeling, each entry reveals a masterclass in strategy, patience, and narrative control. Just when you think you've seen it all, the next move rewrites the rules. So how does Red stay 10 steps ahead, sometimes even before the game begins? Let's begin with number 10. Number 10, the Stew Maker. Most people run from monsters. Reddington sits down and starts a conversation. When he faced the Stew Maker, a man who dissolved his victims without a trace, Red didn't threaten or bargain. He respected the killer's twisted logic, dissecting his worldview like a surgeon with a scalpel. By speaking the Stew Maker's language, Red planted a seed of doubt, turning a clinical executioner into a hesitant ally. No violence, no shouting, just a battle of philosophies where words did the heavy lifting. Even serial killers pause when Red starts talking philosophy. That's how you turn a liability into an asset before the first shot is ever fired. Anslow Garrick's men stormed the facility, bullets flying, and Reddington ended up trapped in a bulletproof glass box, bleeding, a gun pointed at his head. Where most would beg or break, Red quoted poetry and asked for a cup of tea. His voice never wavered. The mercenaries expected panic. Instead, they got a masterclass in composure. Every calm word chipped away at their certainty until the captors started glancing at each other, wondering who was really in control. Only Reddington could treat torture like afternoon tea. In that glass cage, fear became his weapon, and panic spread to everyone but him. Berlin's campaign against Reddington burned hot with one belief, that Red had murdered his daughter. Reddington never bothered to correct him. He let Berlin's rage fester, every move powered by a lie. Years of bloodshed, all fueled by a story Red allowed to grow wild. Then, when the time was right, Red shattered the illusion, revealing Berlin's daughter was alive and the real enemy had played them both. In that instant, Berlin's purpose collapsed, and his war ended not with a bullet, but with the truth. When you control the narrative, you control your enemy's emotions. With the cabal closing in, Reddington didn't just disappear, he erased himself from the board. While most men run, Red orchestrates his own funeral. He planted forged autopsy reports, leaked poison rumors through channels the cabal trusted, and let the world believe their greatest threat was finally dead. News outlets picked up the story, FBI records confirmed it, and even his closest allies played along. The cabal relaxed, thinking the game was over, but Red was already moving pieces in the shadows, using his absence to rebuild, blackmail, and expose the cabal's own weaknesses. Most people fake smiles, Red fakes funerals. Only he could turn vanishing into an offensive maneuver, resetting the world's most dangerous chessboard with a single silent move. Mr. Kaplan knew every skeleton in Reddington's closet, and she didn't just threaten to expose him, she started digging up the bodies herself. Red faced a paradox only he could appreciate. The one person he trusted most became the one person who could destroy him. She wasn't out for revenge, she was out to free Liz from the shadow of his secrets, even if it meant burning his empire to the ground. Red saw the endgame coming, the whistleblower's martyr plan, the evidence drops, the alliance with law enforcement. He didn't scramble to stop her, he timed his moves to contain the fallout, absorbing every blow with a mix of regret and calculation. He didn't kill Kaplan because he hated her, he did it because she knew the truth that could unmake him. In Red's world, survival sometimes means sacrificing the last piece of your own heart. Neville Townsend thought he was hunting Reddington. In reality, Red was quietly engineering Townsend's downfall from the shadows. Instead of meeting force with force, Red slipped doubts into Townsend's inner circle, suggesting betrayals, fabricating threats, and letting paranoia take root. Townsend's network began to eat itself alive, every ally a possible traitor, every message a potential trap. Red barely had to lift a finger. He just nudged the dominoes and watched the collapse. Give Reddington a paranoid man and he'll build a self-destruct button out of his ego. Townsend's obsession became a weapon used against him, his empire crumbling under the weight of suspicion. In Red's world, the cleanest victories are the ones your enemy delivers to themselves. Elizabeth Keene was never just protected, she was sculpted. Reddington didn't simply shield her from danger, he shaped her mind, one crisis at a time. Every secret, every apparent betrayal was a lesson in survival. He didn't raise her to trust him, he raised her to think like him. Red engineered Liz's worldview, anticipating every rebellion, every desperate attempt to break free. The lines between love and manipulation blurred until they became the same thing. For years, Liz believed she was outsmarting her mentor, only to discover she'd been moving through a maze he designed. His deepest con wasn't tactical, it was emotional, a slow construction of loyalty and suspicion, protection and control. In the end, Reddington's greatest lesson for Liz was simple. In a world built on lies, the only thing more dangerous than believing him was believing anyone else. Marvin Gerard fancied himself the smartest man in the room, a lawyer with a mind as sharp as any blade in Reddington's arsenal. When Marvin decided to betray Red, he didn't just plot in secret. He built an entire campaign, convinced he'd finally outmaneuvered the master. Red let him run wild. He watched Marvin recruit allies, forge documents, and set traps, all while wearing that familiar, knowing smile. Every victory Marvin claimed felt earned, until the moment Red pulled back the curtain. The truth landed like a guillotine. Every move Marvin made had already been mapped, every ally a double agent, every secret a breadcrumb leading straight back to Reddington. The psychological blow was total. Marvin's triumph turned to humiliation in a single breath. Reddington doesn't lose allies, he lets them hang themselves with their own logic. That's the difference between playing chess and authoring the rulebook. Never try to out-reason a man who's already written your ending. Reddington didn't just outsmart individuals, he bent entire institutions to his will. The day he surrendered to the FBI, it looked like a master criminal turning himself in. In reality, it was the start of a decade-long con. Red offered the task force a list. The world's most dangerous criminals handed over one by one, but every name served his own agenda, every takedown protected his empire. He never lied outright, he just trimmed the truth, feeding the task force exactly what they needed to feel in control. They called it cooperation. Red called it outsourcing. By controlling the flow of information, he made the FBI believe they were using him, when in fact they were dismantling his rivals and eliminating threats on his behalf. Government resources, federal reach, all at his fingertips, while his own secrets stayed buried. Only Reddington could turn the world's top law enforcement agency into his personal cleanup crew and make them thank him for it. The world knows the name Raymond Reddington, but the man behind it is a ghost story told in whispers. Every alias, every staged disappearance, every carefully crafted confession, these weren't just clever tricks. They were bricks in a legend, each one reinforcing the myth until the truth itself became irrelevant. Reddington's masterpiece wasn't a plan. It was the myth of Raymond Reddington. While others fought for territory or money, Red fought for control over his own narrative. He planted rumors about his past, let rivals chase shadows, and confessed only what would deepen the mystery. The FBI files are thick with contradictions. Enemies can't agree on his origins, and even his closest allies never see the full picture. Death certificates, autopsy reports, and a suitcase of bones, each clue only thickened the fog. In the end, the story of Reddington grew so powerful it swallowed the facts whole. His greatest trick wasn't outsmarting his enemies, it was convincing them he ever existed. That's how you become immortal. Not by living forever, but by making sure no one can ever prove you were real in the first place. From disarming the stew maker with nothing but words to rewriting his own identity as the ultimate con, our journey through all 10 of Reddington's greatest chess moves reveals a single, shocking truth. Power lies not in violence, but in the ability to shape perception. Across the list, the pattern is clear. Reddington wins by reading people, controlling the narrative, and weaponizing emotion. Whether he's feeding an enemy's paranoia, preempting betrayal, or bending the FBI itself to his will. The most surprising entries, like faking his death to outwit the cabal, or turning Liz Keene into both protege and pawn, show that the real battlefield is always psychological. What made these moments rank so high wasn't just cleverness, but the sheer scale. Reddington's influence stretches from individual monsters to entire institutions. In the end, these 10 outsmarts prove that in the world of the Blacklist, the greatest weapon isn't a gun or a secret. It's the story you make everyone believe. And as long as Reddington is the one telling it, everyone else is just playing catch up.